Hello, and welcome to Spring Under Forge Alliance Forever. This is part 2 of Nexus of Reality's run through the Legend of Stars. Qualifying tourney number 4. So I'm take down Mad Mozart and Blackheart in the previous video, and this one Nexus is starting off against Slow, another one of the greatest FAF players, and this matchup is, well, it just changed a lot in the last patch, so this would be basically the nightmare matchup on a lot of maps, most maps even, for the UEF player. But UEF has some new toys, so namely has arties with 205 HP rather than 200, which sounds like not a big deal, but in fact means it will not die to an Aeon bomber in one pass, and it takes, more importantly, 3 shots for an AC to kill it rather than 2. So it's actually, yeah, it's actually quite powerful. Slow has abused the shit out of versus me. Also, now have a cheaper nano, and this is probably gonna have to be nerfed. To be honest, it's really good. Sarah Nano is also changed. Doesn't really affect this game, obviously. Also, Aeon Shield was changed, so Gold Shield is now the second shield, and there's a new, much cheaper shield. The mass isn't much different, but the energy cost is much lower, so you can get that much earlier in the game. It's really nice. Once a shield drops, the recharge is very quick. So maybe we'll see some of those things used in this match. But let's talk about the map. We're in Blood Throne, map made by Bloodier, 10x10 map. It's kind of similar to Badlands. We're seeing kind of Badlands style builds where the ACU builds 4 P-gens, 2 factories. Here we have 5 P-gens, 2 factories, while the NGs go to the Hydro and make an air factory. It's pretty much Badlands style build. You can see there's 4 main bases as in Badlands, each with a Hydro, so it's quite nice for eco. Definitely go ahead map. So we got an extra air factory planned, worth air, or it's low, unsurprising given that he's versus Aeon and you need some way to punish Aurora. I mean, people really don't bomb Auroras enough. It's just a fact. It's like Auroras are just better tanks than other tanks unless you bomb. We saw Mech Marine dies in 2 shots to Aurora, so this poor guy has no support and he's gonna go down. That's pretty nice. This first Mech Marine I don't think got any kills whatsoever. Mech Marines are also changed recently. They have 6-second build time instead of 7-second. I heard that that's kind of irrelevant. That, I mean, if the lab gets across 1 second earlier, it doesn't matter. Well, that's true, but the actual reason for reducing the build time is the important impact it has is that you get engineers faster. So if you have an engineer out 1 second faster, that's a lot more important than the lab getting across the map 1 second faster. It's for people to understand why some changes are made. This Mech Marine doesn't get a second kill. I love Mech Marines, they're so cool. Well, this guy's dead. Let's focus on the game. So, build order wise, looks like Slow has an advantage. Slower expansion slightly to this side. See, his generated income is one max behind. But he does have a significant power lead, and he's actually got a transport out. With a tank and 5 engineers, where is this going? Gonna try and do something down here, perhaps? It would be good to just drop an engineer here even, or just expand much faster here, but I feel like he's heading down here to maybe get PD, factory, stuff like that. Was he spotted? I think he was, because he's now changed the trajectory of this scout. Oh, the scout is not gonna die. It's actually quite important to nice. Take out early air scouts, and actually, okay. Zlo is actually going to drop on the hydro. He does need power quite badly. It's one thing you'll see Zlo do, expanding on maps, say like Crossfire Canal or Pizza, stuff like that. You drop on the hydro with all the engineers, build the hydro super fast, and then get back in the transport and then drop to the next location. It's definitely a nice trick I've seen him use, and you should try it out sometime. So 2 air factories. Zlo has total air dominance. Nexus is even stalling and has to pause his air factory. This air factory is just building engineers, so have to imagine Zlo has a significant lead. He has 7 to 11. Another transport coming out. This is a tank drop heading over to defend this expansion. That's pretty cool. But he is quite slow grabbing these mexes, these 6 or 7 mexes in this expansion. Nice drop though. He will successfully defend this. This other transport in his base, I'm not sure what the idea is for that. Easily defends this couple of Aurora. Next of Reality has moved his commander to this position. Zlo is in mid. Another factory. And here's another air factory. You don't see any T2 land. You see mechs upgraded and another one on the way. So perhaps we will find he's going T2 air. He is in fact. And Nexus is going T2 land. So it's a drop from Nexus. Oh, it dies. It was just about to drop. Nice chunks of reclaim on these plateaus. I hadn't actually quite noticed, but those are definitely going to give you a big boost. Look at generated mass. Next has a slight advantage. I wonder will we see T3 rush or Nexus? I think that would be pretty dangerous considering your T2 air. Probably better to get some support factories. Get some flax out. What is the plan for Zlo? What is he going to make out of these? Well, he's making 6 Sparkies and a T2 transport, so I think we're going to see Sparky drop. His commander not doing much at all, just kind of chilling in mid, not getting an upgrade or anything. Not much happening anywhere, really. Quite a static game, as it often is on these style of maps. Just have basically 4 bases on one side of the map, 4 bases on the other. 4v4 team game style. No wonder 4v4 team games are so bad. So let's speed it up. I want to see the Sparky drop. It's a nice tank drop, killing some Nexus, you should probably move out of the way though of party shots. And overall, that didn't go too badly. It seems like Zlo changed his mind. Decided to make some gunships to defend raiding Auroras. Here, without micro, the Aurora will win this fight. But they let the strikers into range. Strikers are kind of okay versus Aurora. You can dodge a little bit, and if you get into range, you're just gonna win the fight versus an equal number of Aurora. Sparkies are coming out now, and do we have? We have 6, 7 Sparkies now. And a T2 transport on the way. We also have a T2 commander on the way. So, what are we gonna see? T2 PDs everywhere, perhaps? See another T2 transport coming, and we see that's gonna be T3. So, are we gonna see a T3 commander drop? That is a truly disgusting thing to watch. The T2 rush is actually on. Don't see T2 support, too many T2 support factories, just one over here. Get some anti-airs up, and also he's predicting T2 PDs. Must have seen the Sparkies, but songs are quite terrible. MMLs, and we have T2 air for Nexus. So yes, really nice radar coverage. This radar should be killed. Just gives too much info, especially when you want to kill as many raiders as possible. And wow, yeah, it's raiders all over the place. T3 is complete, and there is a serious issue with having these radars and Swiftwinds being on the field. Can't outrun Swiftwinds with a T2 transport. So let's see where Zlo drops. Basically, if he gets to touchdown anywhere near these areas, I mean, the problem here, there's a ton of engineers, and there's actually quite a few T2 engineers mixed in as well. But Nexus does not actually have the mass. Oh, this is dead. That was a whole lot of Sparkies, I believe. If we look, there's only 2 Sparkies left, so that was probably 6 Sparkies on that. And now, yeah, you can see how Zlo has this planned. He has almost 3k massive storage, so he can just build once he lands, but it doesn't look like he can find an avenue to drop. There's a lot of Swiftwinds out, and now we see an absurd number of scouts, so he's desperately looking for... Oh, what? Where is this? Transport has no one in it. It's attacking... Oh my god. Now he's showing the T2 transport. It's annoying. TMD going up. He actually started a T3 regen before he was going to drop. But T3 ACU is very expensive, and making it, you make it to drop, you don't make it to sit around. But he just can't drop because of this horde of Swiftwinds. He just feels if he gets into his transport he will die. 29 Swiftwinds and radar coverage across the entire map gives him little to no hope of getting through and landing in any great area. Even if he does, he will lose air. But again, that's not the worst thing with a T3 ACU, where you can make it SAM very quickly. Now he sees the commander dropping. Swiftwinds haven't reacted yet, and it looks like he's just going to drop over. to defend. There's not much here. Oh, drops into the middle of 3 flags and just reclaims this. Look at how fast that is. And then overcharges the last one. Instantly stopping them. Meanwhile, T3 air, or T3 land, sorry, for Nexus. He also made a sniper bot, just in case the commander does drop, he can get some nice shots off with a sniper bot. But yeah, it looks bad for Slow. His plan is just completely failed pretty much. But now he's gone for T3 air, got this T2 pigeon, T3 pigeon finished. He is probably not going to have enough power still to really fund this, because he has no adjacency. T3 pigeon and none of the T2 pigeons are adjacent to the factory, which is kind of painful. And so he will probably stall. Doesn't have a huge amount of storage, and yeah, you can see he's already planning another T3 pigeon. Nexus is making RAS. The thing about RAS is it also got nerfed. You can see he gets 1700 power, 18 mass from RAS now, rather than the 2700. Oh, these Swift Winds, he has an absurd number of them. That's a strap bomber. I mean, there's just no way the strap bomber can do anything when there are 50 Swift Winds out. It's just not possible. And also it'll take a long time for him to actually manage to win air with ASF. The strap bomber comes out and instantly kills a Harb. But I really feel like these two Harbs are going to kill this pigeon over here. Let's see, they should target fire it down. And he's actually dropping more units in, a sniper bot and a Harb. Doesn't even need it though. This pigeon is dead. The strap bomber, surely, what? Didn't drop anything. Surely it was aiming at the ACU. And it looks like Slow's base is gonna die. Nexus trying to dodge. It's very difficult to dodge a UEF strap bomber. It's taking some damage from gunships. I mean, it's not even making anti-airs or anything. Strap bomber is dead. Another one coming in. He doesn't dodge that either. One more shot will kill him. Meanwhile, this is... oh, he hops into a transport and just leaves. No hope to strap on him when he's in the air. This is one of those very rare cases where being in a transport is a whole lot safer than being on the ground. And Slow Space is just dead to Arabs. That's pretty funny. Usually don't save yourself by killing in a transport. In this case it is the safest way. And that is pretty much GG. Don't think we'll see any comeback from Slow, although he is trying to snipe some T2 P10. Oh, so close. 68. It's sad. He can still drop a T3 commander. Well, theoretically. In reality, there's still 50, 60 Swift Winds. I don't know. Just 36. And they need air staging. Seriously, guys, make air staging. You repair one Swift Wind. Air staging facility is paid for itself. And he does, of course, die to the Swift Winds. Yeah. So the new toys weren't really tried out from Zlo, the new Nano. He tried to go for Sparky drop, got cut out. He tried to go for T3AC drop, ended up not even attempting it until the game was just over. It was just the last throw of the dice because of so many swift wins. Usually with T2 transport versus inties, you can just kind of drop, and it's all good. Drop anyway. Oh yeah, I was supposed to be in Nexus's point of view, wasn't I? Oh, that's what I did in this video. It's fine this way too. But yeah, his plan just, well, it just never happened. So we're gonna move to the next game. This is versus Patrick Bones on Loki. So, Sarah versus Sarah. So, will we see second air, second land? I won't. So, basically, I think in terms of playstyle, Nexus pretty much wants to play the same as the BH Blackheart and Petridge style, just solid, gain advantages, keep them for the whole game, just kind of be efficient and win by having a bit more eco and stuff. I think that's pretty much what he does, unlike say Slow, who's much more micro focused. Nexus is definitely a macro player. So this game can go long, but given it's Sarah, we'll probably see a lot of action with commanders and a lot of action in the T2 stage. So normal build order, first two engineers, attack move and take the trees. Same thing for Petridge, except Petridge is a bit more tryhard. His first engineer actually assisted these buildings, or some of them, and then he goes and gives 700 manual reclaim orders and move orders. Gotta have the move orders if you're gonna go for the manual reclaim, otherwise you're just wasting your time. We get a scout out. Can probably get that into a good position and cloak it, and yeah, he's gonna try and put it on the mass spot. Really don't see many players go for that, but Petridge almost always does actually. So if you're playing against him, beware. Nexus has gone second air, second land. Petridge gone for the classic second air, 5 P-gens. Nexus, I think he made 3 P-gens and then second land. You can do like 2 or 3 P-gens second land with the tree reclaim. He's going for the attack move. This is how I do it. It's just so much less intensive than the move and manual reclaim. Again here, insane number of manual reclaim orders, but he's still going to miss rocks. You can see there's quite a few that don't have reclaim orders. Actually, just attack move. You get basically all of it, and then send another engineer to grab the mexes. So even more manual reclaim orders in between the mexes, just because. In mostly though, if you aren't actually in need of this reclaim, then it's actually just going to slow down when you get the mexes, which is not ideal. But if you need the reclaim, then you need the reclaim, so you queue up those orders. Here comes a bomber. It does not have a scout with it. Oh, in fact, that's this scout. Never mind. And we can hear some fighting on that tank. This bomber. Okay, yeah, he got the scout in there, and maybe he can even ground fire in between these two. That would be pretty epic. Probably too far apart. Next had them split well, but this Hydra is definitely denied, and he can actually aim for this engineer next. That would be a great target. Up on the top, do see some fighting. It looks like there's an engineer lost in this position who would be heading towards the top, and you'll almost always see tank scout combo in this position trying to catch this Engie, but he is too late. He missed him. This Hydro will hurt. You can see his economy was kind of based on having this Hydro, and yeah, you can definitely send extra engineers afterwards, later, after the first two, to grab more of this reclaim. You can see there's still quite a lot of tree reclaim left. That's worth grabbing. Same for Petrich. Could definitely invest in grabbing this. Also, your engineers should, in your base, be grabbing these tree groups. Well, they're not even groups mostly, but there's a lot of mass in those. Instead of just having idle engineers in the base, you should attack move your engineer building factory and take all this shit. You will get like a significant amount of mass from that. As the game progresses, this tank can actually hit the Hydra. I don't think you can hit the Hydra with a tank on the other side. Imba map. It's a fix. Over here, a couple of tanks coming to cut out the normal position. You almost always see factory built here. It's not really so important for this faction though, because you can build a land factory here and send some arties around, which is pretty nice. Still, it gets cut out. This expansion is going to be denied a while. These two tanks doing precisely the same thing. Oh, this poor Engie will not be saved, I think. Unless he can hide behind... Oh, he could have maybe... There's maybe some small micro opportunity there, but the commander is on his way anyway. Oh, we actually have a drop. That's pretty nice. Probably best to just run along to the next position, because the commander is going to be here too quickly. I don't think he's seen the commander, unfortunately, and he's not building anything. This drop is gonna fail, and that's gonna hurt a lot. And he could have actually secured this position. He could have secured both positions. He had paid it just, if he had just spotted the commander beforehand, could have dropped in here, just back further, and immediately start building PD. He had the resources. Get that PD up on time. Over here, and Nexus decides, well, we don't actually need a second PD. Could be better off by having some more resources. So he's just gonna reclaim the PD he had almost made. Eco terms, we have one mech's almost done, another one on the way. Petrich, meanwhile, one quite far along, and most of the spam is sent to the top. Interesting decision. I mean, most of the stuff he can fight for is on this side of the map, and he knows the commander is down here, so perhaps we can see the commander move down in this direction, maybe get to here, and Petrich has done well, brought Artie with him. If you don't bring Artie with your commander to this position, you can just be shut down by having a PD. Nexus did not have an Artie with him, I think, for a while when he arrived, so if there was a PD here, he would have been slowed down a lot. Over here, he's taken a long time to clear out these units down here, and these Nexus are coming way late in the game. But similar story for Petrich down the right. So you can see a really big score advantage and a reclaim advantage for Nexus. He has huge reclaim advantage in energy and significant one in mass. And I think that's basically where his entire advantage is coming from, because we look at the map and it's a similar story in terms of their rating. I'm just imagining if Petrovich had dropped here instead of here, this position would have been quite nicely fortified, giving a nice mass advantage. Over here, Nexus not taking a good fight, and the bombers are really make a huge difference in tank fights. I mean, if you can drop one bomb, hit 4 or 5 tanks, you probably will hit 4 or 5 tanks, sometimes more. Bring them all down by 250 HP, and your tanks can just mop that up very quickly. So, really nice mass, the reclaim field for Petrovich to grab. Well, actually not that nice. It seems like there's quite a lot of overkill. Bombers will bomb some reclaim, unfortunately. That is one downside of them, similar to using RTs in your army. But you can see Nexus grabbing these trees. All these are gone. Most of this is gone. And I think that's where he's getting most of this mass. Like, most of this mass advantage. He's also, I think, done more reclaim here than Petrovich has done over here. And on the sides. These bombers are doing a great job though. And this rating is not bad, keeping a lot of tanks back in the base. Do we have T2 land? We have T2 land, yep. And transport ready, hopefully to drop some Ilshevo somewhere. Drop an Ilshevo here, drop an Ilshevo here. Just the one, and we'll kill those expansions. Up here we can see Nexus is quite afraid, I think, of this army. He does not want to defend this expansion. It's going down to arties. But it looks like he can take back air. And I think he needs to do that at this stage, because it is looking like Petrovich is getting back into the game. Or at least is starting to take some new advantages for himself. Moving this expansion, he can likely kill this. He has just so many tanks on the top side. On the bottom side, Nexus doing a bit better. Cutting out some raids. Cutting out this army should die relatively soon, but he hasn't actually done any raiding himself on Petrovich's positions. Now the next thing will be to see if Petrovich can actually take this. I would expect him to drop some of these engineers. They're just kind of milling around up there. Has the transport ready? Okay, we see some tanks, and oh yeah, this is all dead. This is how you come back into the game if you're Petrovich. Now the problem is Ilshevo drops, and actually we see T2 air planned for Nexus. He has 1 air control, and that's going to allow him to drop. He's dropping, yeah, nice, 1 here and 1 here. Fortunately, Petrovich looks like he'd be in a perfect position to destroy this first Ilshevo drop. I'm not sure if he has energy storage. I'm guessing he doesn't. He doesn't, in fact. His energy balance is too good. He doesn't need energy storage, and he won't have overcharge even if he builds an energy storage, because he's gonna have to put a lot of power into making this T2 P-Gen. It looks like he both spotted each other there. Petrovich spotted the drop coming and instantly rerouted to cover this expansion rather than walking to the water. Petrovich, or Nexus, saw that he'd just flown over some units, and he decides, okay, I'll just drop both over here rather than one to each place, because this guy would likely just feed some reclaim. Maybe better to drop one up here and one down here, because there's actually extremely few units here. He could have done some damage, but I think best for him to do with these 2 SGs is just fall back, force units to come all the way back to here from the base. Much more efficient drop from Petrich on the left hand side with 1 tank, 2 arties and an AA, doing the same damage as 2 Ilshavo. Oh, that's unfortunate for Petrich, sending an Ilshi into the face of 2 that's not exactly efficient. But these Ilshis are also taking arty fire. They should die before they can do very much damage at all. We're here. This position is dead and dead. Only now we see it drop up to here. It's slightly late, but definitely welcome. He can get some reclaim. PDs are always good to reclaim. It's about 200 mass in the wreck. The problem now is a whole lot of Ilshavo, and we got gunships as well, so can Petrich keep up with the amount of Ilshis while also making enough anti-air to deal with the T2 air? That's 7 Ilshis, meanwhile 7 Ilshis for Nexus, so that's actually pretty good numbers. These 4 gunships, let's see what they can do. You can probably deny this completely. It's just killing some radars and anything he finds around. So she is not really. Oh no. Shooting the ground there. Thanks to terraforming. It's quite annoying. But this is just a 300 mass donation. Here there is no anti-air yet. It's just being constructed. And it looks like the NGs will die before they can complete it. Still, we have about a 2k mass lead in reclaim for Nexus. These Ilshis got cleaned up. Definitely want to make sure you grab any Ilshavo Rex. See that 290, 286. Gotta grab every one of those. And this is successfully cut out. Hopefully we'll see a transport to drop some engineers. It looks like we will see that. Precisely that. But there's opportunity to raid a few positions, and we see Petrich very cleverly, or wisely, just gets 1 anti-air in each position. It's definitely advisable. They're cheap and quite effective. We won't have a single. Yeah, 800 HP, costs about 150 mass. Yeah, so once you see T2 air, you don't need to get a mobile flak into every position. It's just not what you need to do. In every expansion, if you put one AA tower, you stop any single gunship raiding. 2 gunships are not going to raid very efficiently. It's going to take them a while to kill that anti-air, and they'll probably lose 1 gunship. I'm not sure if you definitely lose 1 gunship or not, but yeah, you're gonna need like 3 or 4 gunships to be able to raid to take out the anti-air efficiently, and then raid the mexes, and it's quite expensive then if you need 3 or 4 gunships. These flaks from Nexus are not really important for defending his army from air, but they give him a kind of air control around the map. You can use these flags to fight over and also to retreat to with his air and his gunships, but you really need to have scouts with your anti-air for it to be very effective. It just has such a huge range and a low vision radius. Nexus and Petrich now fighting air. It looks actually Petrich is just aiming for the gunships, and oh, Nexus has so many out of fuel inties. That's really unfortunate. Like I said, please build air staging. It's especially good for gunships. I mean, if you have like 100 HP gunship, you know, prepared for basically free. Over here, Petrich Just chilling with his ACU. Don't see any commander playing this game. Still, she doing a good job, raiding very effectively. As she dropped to here would also be good. A lot of reclaim for Nexus to grab. So will we see any switch to T3 land? It's probably going to take a while before we see that. I think we'll just see continued T2 play. And wow, that's huge. It's a base killer right there, this drop. I think this is gonna end the game. It's not gonna get cut out. It's extremely difficult to shoot down T2 transports unless you have huge air control and so you have swift winds, but this will kill a base. You can fit 8 Ilshabo in one T2 transport, and that's what he just did here. Fortunately there's not 8 in this one, but he has 5. And he can just target the HQ, he can target T2 PGen, and everything is gonna die right now. Goes for the T2 PGen first, and I mean it doesn't even matter, you can kill everything, kill all the engineers and all the PDs quite quickly. He goes start targeting the HQ there, but I think he wants to take out some NGs and PD just to make sure. But yeah, this is just brutal. See how fast the HQ dies. No more Ilshabo now. No more power. No more T2 engineer. Well, actually, you can make T2 engineers from spore factories. Now Mex is going down. Doesn't even care about the PDs or the things attacking him. Doesn't matter how much reclaim he leaves. This is just, yeah. This is how to use Sarah advantages. Now aiming for T1 PGens. Yeah. Meanwhile down the bottom he can easily defend this. So many Ilshabos here. It's an insane number of Ilshis. And I think we're gonna see GG very soon from Petrich. There's really no hope. He's trying to get some PGens. Nice move to start those already, but it's not gonna matter without a HQ. Still a good rating on the top. Here's the drop of his own. He's gonna kill some T2 mexes. So definitely this is a really good try from more drops now from Nexus, but this army is just unstoppable. It looks like you can just kill everything on the bottom. This is how to macro style play the game. Get an army that can't be beaten, and then, well, you can drop it into the opponent's base, and then the other way is to just build it and then give move orders. That's how you win this game. Petrich does he have an upgrade? No, he has no upgrade. HQ under construction again. There's some PDs here, doesn't really matter. They will die. There they go, another drop. This is surely dead. This T2 Sport Factory goes down. This Mex will go down. Probably should be fighting the Ilshis and stuff instead of killing them. So it doesn't even matter. Probably could have won that fight though. But yeah, over here, drop that we saw already did some good damage. Looks like I can just overcharge these, but this army is coming. Does Petrich have overcharge? He doesn't have the gun. I think without the gun he has 0 chance against this army. With the gun he has like 3% chance versus this army. This looks rough. But he's still going, and actually still has, see, the score is actually similar. Mass total mass income for the game is actually higher than the Nexus, but I think he just dies to T2 right here. Just getting target fired. 5 T1 PDs will not be enough unless he gets into the water, and he does. And oh, we have gunships and we have torpedo bombers. Let's see if they can actually take him out. Yeah, it looks like he just dies here. He's not in the water. And gunships are going to finish him. And that's that. Good game. Good game indeed. The death drop from Nexus. That was 13 Ilshavolt dropped directly into the main base. Oh, and it killed the HQ, killed 2 T2 mexes, killed a T2 PGen, and that was the killer move. That was GG there, and Petridge did a really good job, still dropping, still surviving by making a lot of power with all of his NGs. Had some here, probably had some over elsewhere in the map. Yeah, down here, made enough power here and here to actually survive when he lost his T2 PGen, and made some drops, kept doing damage. You see Nexus still does not have this. Nexus eventually got this back, but that was denied as well. These were T2 mexes that got killed. This is dead. I even completely missed that, to be honest. But just wasn't enough. Just took too much damage from that. Great move. How to abuse Seraphim. 8 Ilshavolt in a T2 transport. I mean, how likely is it? Think of it, just when you drop it somewhere, that there's going to be enough there to ever stop 8 Ilshavolt. And then he drops, well, just with 1 transport. But with 2, so there's just no chance that you can have enough in that one position. It's just not going to happen. So, next game. That was the semi-final of the winners bracket. So another scalp. Seen him take down Mad Mozart, Blackheart, Zlo, and Petridge. So now we move on to the final. And it's against Petridge again. He managed to win through the losers bracket after being knocked down there by Nexus, and he has to face Nexus again. So in the final, because it's double elimination means you have to lose twice to go out of the tournament. So Nexus needs to win just 1 game of the next 2. Petridge has to win 2 in a row right now to win the tournament. Nexus just needs 1 win out of the next 2 games to win the tournament. So another Sarah Mirror matchup, but this time it is Settings Clutch. This is Settings Clutch Ultimate. Mentioned in the last cast about the Ultimate maps. There is a link in the description about that. Basically, it's just configurable maps, different amounts of spots, different reclaim configurations, civ configurations. Different number of mass points. Underwater mexes can be added on Settings Clutch Ultimate, I believe, so a lot of options. So you can basically host, the idea is that you can host just 1 map rather than having 7 versions of the same map to have all these different options. You could just have 1 and just configure it in the options. So let's get on to the game anyway. The question, okay, well, Settings Clutch well, it plays hugely differently depending on what spot you're on. If you're in, like, well, in the 1v1 terms, if you're in any of these back spots, if you're not in front, then you basically just have to rush the transport, try to get mid, and if you don't, well, you kind of win or lose on the based on that transport. So I think usually people prefer 1v1 to be mid versus mid because, well, don't transport rush, you just send early engineer and fight over it, and the commanders arrive into mid as well, and there's still a lot of reclaim to be grabbed, so it's a bit less swingy. So that's quite nice from Nexus. We got 5 degens, second air. Gonna try and use the tree reclaim, but he's actually kind of fucked it up. See this right here, he didn't even move orders, and he is not going to get enough for tree reclaim. As a result, if we look at Petrich, he seems to have gone maybe 4 or 5 legions before that air factory. He has 6 now, and he's getting his 3rd factory. Also going quite quickly to this Hydro. Let's see where Nexus is for this Hydra. He hasn't actually got it yet. It's another one imbalance when you're playing this in 1v1 is that this Hydra is much further for the top player than for the bottom player. It's unfortunate. What can you do? Bomber out for Nexus. Bombers are really nice, but this guy is fucked. It's already an inti out, and bomber's been scouted and it's targeted. So this is just a waste. But bombing these expanding engineers, like for example this guy, does a huge job. If he dies, this whole expansion of the entire area is slowed down immensely. So also trying to sneak tanks past, definitely a good idea. But Petrich is on top of that as well. Another thing is you just need so much stuff. You have to build so quickly on this map because it's an insane amount of reclaim. How much is it? It's like 15k reclaim or something like that. Not sure. You need one of the sentence horrors. Oh, this is ASU idle. You gotta get to mid quickly. If you're there too slow, then there may even be a PD waiting for you, which will really fuck you up. You will be denied so much reclaim. So don't go to mid too fast. You need all that build power you can get early on, but you have to go there pretty quick nonetheless. Not like in a normal settings game where you just make a factory and then work. That's a pretty bad idea in 1v1. Still gotta move fast. A lot of factories up for Petrich already. He is a quite experienced settings player, so I expect him to have a better build order basically. 1, 2, 3, 5 factories done. Meanwhile, just 4 and 5th one only completing now for Nexus, so pretty similar still. In terms of reclaim, Petrich has more tree reclaim. These tree groups are really good. You definitely want to grab them. Fortunately, these guys are climbing broken trees. It's not very efficient. And we should probably see transports. It's very slow to you will be slow to expand without transports. You really need them to be efficient in your expansion, and also you'll need them to drop islands, and also proxy base will be pretty interesting. Problem with a proxy base, you don't want to do it too early because you need plenty in mid. You need to focus on mid until all this reclaim is gone. But proxy base would be really nice if you want to drop here, or even back somewhere less easily spotted. Maybe back here somewhere, and just raid everything back here because there's not going to be any tanks. And even better if you can deny some air, but that's just icing on the cake. If you can do that, you might as well just win the game any other way you want. So Petrich going to take this advantage to get some damage in on the ACU. He had Nexus had his tanks back a bit, and Nexus is not grabbing reclaim right now. Petrich missed with his reclaim orders. Just reclaimed on the ground slightly, which was unfortunate. But yeah, do these guys, can they use reclaim right now? Oh yeah, definitely Nexus can. I think I would rather be reclaiming than shooting the ACU, for sure. Once again, missing those reclaim orders. He's been stalling for a while. He desperately needs this reclaim. His whole economy is built on it. It's dependent on it. We do see transported here. Oh, this can reclaim Sleens very quick. Even though he's on low HP, he's still managed to reclaim that Sleen before dying. They're not very good raiding units, especially because they can only shoot in front of them. So if you try to turn around, you can't actually shoot once you turn. Next is grabbing some reclaim. Petrich grabbing some reclaim back here. Usually you want to grab reclaim that's closer to your opponent's base, and then as you're falling back you can grab reclaim unless you're really in trouble and about to die. Over here we saw a bomber got a kill, I believe. I think there's the dead bomber, and we probably that's a tank, isn't it? Yeah, but I'm sure that an NG died over there. So that's pretty good. Even just a bomber costs way more than an engineer, but killing that one engineer is totally worth it. ED goes up. It's not really securing any reclaim for him, unfortunately, but definitely securing the position of his ACU can allow him to potentially just move back slightly behind PD and get an upgrade. The transport has dropped to the back, dropped over here. It looks like he's going to drop the island as well. Might be worth even dropping one engineer, or maybe dropping two engineers, building a factory, then getting them back in the transport and dropping here. That would be interesting. But most focus has to still be on mid. There's still plenty of reclaim to take, and still the ACs are fighting there, and there's a lot of tanks there too. Over here we have a bomber. This engineer, that's not what you do. It's not a good way to dodge. But he will dodge the first one. But this move order will ensure he dies. A lot of arties in mid for Petrich, which is definitely a good idea when you're on a huge map and you have to be focused on so many things, queuing up orders out of factories over here and here. Doesn't give you much time to micro in mid, so arties are more valuable. That's why you don't see arties on small maps where basically people have the time to constantly micro their units. Arties will just never hit anything. On maps like this, you can definitely land a lot of arty shots. So this island should be secured. This island up here should be secured as well. He'll make some units out of this factory just to make sure. In terms of expansion on their own half of the map, you can see the real problem is Nexus is much slower here, and you can pretty much put it down to that bomber, even though I can't find that engineer. I'm sure that died. But that just slowed him down hugely, and it looks like he wants to drop here. It's just not going to work. He only has one engineer. And actually, Nix has taken a lot of arty fire in the course of this mid battle, and he has a significant HP. Well, actually, not too significant, just 1k HP behind Petrich. He does actually have a vet, which is quite valuable. Oh, an overcharge. This could make a significant difference in this ACU, and tank battle, but it looks like Nexus has far more tanks. Do we see any T2 land, for example? I don't. In terms of T2 mexes, Nexus has 6. It's got 61 tanks here in mid. Meanwhile, got a similar number of units, but about a third of them are arties. And in terms of T2 mexes, we only have 3. And oh, Petrich taking some damage, but oh, this Shift G just got punished, thankfully, by an overcharge. Got maybe 5 or 6 tanks in one overcharge there. I think he has auto overcharge turned on. Let's see. Yeah, I think he does in fact. Auto overcharge, really nice function, and it may actually give him the kill. Oh, this nice vet might save him, but he's getting blocked so hard. Will he get into the water? Oh my god, look at this. He's completely trapped in the middle of units. And Petrich is going down very low. The gunships are out and gunships die in the explosion. Petrich survives less than 500 HP. 500 HP is exactly how much an overcharge does to a commander. Yeah. Wow, that's the other side to mid versus mid on sentence that will often end with the ACU battle, T1 tank battle. This torp bombers in the base. I mean, maybe a Notha would have done a lot better. These torp bombers wanted to snipe Petrich, but he never even got to force him into the water. So yeah, building 3-4 torp bombers before that is a bad idea. You can have 1, and then if he's forced into water, he's basically forced straight back out again, because they do 700 to 800 damage per pass. But damn, that was close. I didn't expect. Yeah, that was pretty much all in. Petrich decided he could end it there, but that was a huge risk to take. I guess he was worried that this gunship harassment could potentially kill just a huge amount around the back of his base. So he decided to take his advantage. He was behind on economy in terms of T2 mexes, and he's behind in terms of air, so he decided it's time to try and get the win. Thought that was his best chance, and he got the win by some really good blocking of Nexus ACU and a lot of overcharges. Auto overcharge made a huge difference. It's actually very, very useful, especially when you don't really have really need all your APM. Don't have time to be overcharging constantly. So the next map, this is the final, and it's on Africa. Not Africa Ultimate this time for some reason, but on Africa. 3v3 map. Tons of tiny shitty rocks to reclaim. Yeah. Last game was warm up on all the games before. Yeah, good question. Nexus feels like he should have just won, I think. Still have a seat on Nexus, you cunt. So Petrich. Yeah, we're just gonna see Hydro Rush, no P-gens. Just make the mexes and the hydrocarbon. Had to get up at noon for the tourney. It's a hard life. Jeez. Just dry humping. Sarah NG's degenerates. Now will we see one PGen added and then second land, or I think we'll see second air, but actually second land is just becoming a lot more popular because it gives you an eco advantage. You make some NGs out of that second factory, and more NGs at the start of the game is an eco advantage. Think of it like, well, if you ever played Age of Empires 2, villagers are your eco. In a sense, it's similar. The early game of Subcom, more engineers means faster expansion, means more PGens and more mexes and more factories, depending on how you use your engineers, and more reclaim, especially on a map like this, which has just okay. Just want to ask all map makers to just stop with the tiny shitty rocks. That's they really give me nightmares. It's just disgusting. So anyway, third air, bit of a mass stall. Was that third air? That was also third air from Petrich. So yeah, on these bigger maps, you can have, so you have the reclaim, which means your third factory is going to be fast. It's going to be assisted. You're going to have like maybe 20 build power making your factories at the start. So your third factory is going to be fast, and that means that the bomber is not going to be in time to actually be there before any significant time before the first inti is out for you if you go third. So going second air, not hugely useful. It will put you behind in engineer count, and it will put you behind in tank count most likely, and you probably can't use it offensively. So there's I really struggle to find reasons to go second air on a map like this. Now if you're on a big map and you have no reclaim, then if you're on a reasonably big map, this is 10k, it's not 20k like Emerald Crater or something, but going second air on a map with no reclaim is a bit better because you don't have reclaim to really pump out that third factory extremely quickly. Even then it's a bit this guy, I think, means Petrich is stalling. So yeah, Selines need 5 power to use their stealth and cloak. So if they stall, they get revealed. This guy draining 5 power, this guy draining 5 power. So early game, it actually is quite kind of expensive. I mean, if you have 4 of them, that's one whole PGen that you need to fund them. This engineer is not protected. That's a bit of a misplay here. Here, that's a good raid, enabled a bit by this cloaked Celine. And actually letting tanks into your base, yeah, you really don't need, like, you really shouldn't be letting tanks into your base here. You just have so much time to react, and there's not really that many paths into your base. It's not the most open map. So yeah, one tank in behind here. It's not really doing a huge amount. It can't kill mexes very quickly. It only denied 1. Just barely. It will slow down, for example, Hydro Factory and some reclaim. That's the more important part rather than actually raiding mexes. And it will also keep tanks at home, so prevents future raids. Yeah, this game, this map, it's basically decided by your macro. Grabbing as much reclaim as possible, having engineers all over the map, grabbing these cancerous rocks. That's what's going to decide this game. And that's the kind of play both these players kind of want. They want to win by having more than the opponent. So it's hard to know who actually wins. More reclaims so far, but in terms of power, Nexus has a pretty decent advantage. We got a transport that's probably going to drop here or here. By the move order, it's probably this direction. A lot of factories up already. You really gotta spam so many factories in this map. Just continually spam them in all over and make a lot of tanks and a lot of NGs. And you don't actually need to start ecoing for quite a while because there's just so much to use, so much mass to use, so many engineers to be built, so many tanks to be built to defend the reclaim. Dropping on top of each other and they're reclaiming each other. Oh, these guys are moving and not reclaiming. But they still win. Nexus says slow. But I don't think Nexus counts on some tanks being dropped on that poor lonely NG. So, looks like fortunately there's no engineer on board, so Church can't actually take it for himself, but he will deny it again. Oh, there's there's inties on track to attack this transport. Doesn't matter though, NG will go down. Maybe we'll see another drop here. This transport. I think we should. Yep. What do we see? Yeah, some tanks and engineers gonna get dropped here. Obviously needs to drop a couple of tanks to take out the defenders there. Over here, just tanks just being annoying in all positions, but they can't actually do much damage. This is good. He probably kill this mechs. And yeah, let's see. T2 land done pretty quick. You want to get T2 land or air pretty quickly so you can get that T2 P-Gen to improve your eco. Let's be more efficient. As I said, this is a macro map pretty much, so will we see a lot of T2 land? I don't see many upgrading T2 factories, or any in fact at the minute. We're going to see a very heavy rush on this T2 power, as Pedridge normally does, to be honest. Normally has just a lot of assist on that first T2 P-Gen, tries to rush it as fast as possible. And Nexus is taking this. Pedridge has just walked an engineer across here, I presume. Although perhaps that's how he got these tanks back here, was with a drop. Could be. Yeah, quite a lot of reclaim on this island as well, and it gives nice intel, so it's harder for, say, units to drop past you and stuff like that. So definitely a very useful position strategically. There's a T2 Spore Factory upgrading. There's one there. So not a huge amount, but certainly some increases in T2 build power. Nexus has completed his T2 HQ. Quite a bit slower, and all 4 of these factories are going to T2 at the one time, so he's going to get basically one advantage to this is, well, obviously he has adjacency on all of them and he's upgrading the mechs, but when he builds units, they're going to come out in waves. Basically, he's going to have 4 tanks pop out at the same time, which is really nice for just controlling your units, to have them come out in groups. It's just very useful. Okay, where am I going to send these 4 Ilshvo, rather than, okay, where's my stream of Ilshvo going to? No, rather than just having a group already basically pre-made coming out of the factory, although he kind of fucks it up by assisting one of the factories. And also it's actually idle, so the one he's the one he's assisting is idle. Others have actually she's queued up in them. Kind of funny. T2 power is not even begun. It seems. Okay, there it goes. Significantly later than Petrich. It's on his second. These TAMs are, well, some of them are in range, not all of them. They're actually managing to hit PD, but this PD will probably just get vet, or it can kill it. If you took vet off T1 PD, they would be a lot less powerful. A lot less powerful. T1 tanks would quite easily, or a lot more easily, take them out, because they can actually hit them reasonably well. Auroras can, AMs can, yeah, every T1 tank can actually hit T1 PD. They don't always hit the wall. T2 PD's gone up from Nexus T2 Commander. Tuhu Master Race also has T2. One reason you'll see T2 instead of gun is, well, on this map you have so much mass that you can actually fund a T2 commander making PDs and stuff quite easily. Whereas on a lower mass map, T2 is not so useful. You just don't have the mass to actually fund it properly without making huge sacrifices. Also gun, you basically have to put yourself out there and get kills, otherwise it's kind of useless and just a waste. T2 will also give you the protection versus snipes, allow you to make TMD, which is very important on a map like this where you don't make a lot of T2 mexes. You need TMD because TML is just such an attractive prospect, and also with a T2 commander you can make TML and assist to get TMLs quite quickly, so T2 commander is just a very attractive proposition on this map. I would like a TML. TML is just, it's just really nice on this kind of map, especially if you can take this mid position. You can see there that you can hit basically everything on the map from with a TML that's in mid. Tank drop here kind of went to the wrong place, and it's a nice counter drop of the turn. This was one nerf to chicken bots. They did get a lower turn speed. But yeah, some people think it basically ruined chicken bots forever, but kind of wrong. That is some small nerf that was done to them. That's actually it. So T1 PD is trying to defend here. There's two Ilshis. There's one Ilshi. I don't know if he can kill this PD in time. I feel like he can't, especially not with gunships coming into support. T2 air, good choice. Maybe we'll see another death drop with 12 Ilshis on in a couple of transports. Maybe not. This Ilshi is doing a good job. Just like doesn't give a fuck. Slanted like I don't know what. But really impressive army from Nexus. This is, yeah. See, this is the thing, when you're dropping everywhere, see, you committed units up here, committed an Ilshi on this island, an Ilshi over here, and Ilshis are quite spread. There's a transport spotted thanks to good old T2 radar. That's going to be quite a few units. But instead of dropping everywhere, Nexus has kept a huge amount of Ilshis in the one place basically, and could group these a bit better. But it's really difficult to stop this. That's TML. Oh, kill that. You can't walk away from that. That's a target you just can't ignore. TML's coming in. There's no TMD here. It's quite sloppy to not have TMD. There's no TMD even in front of these factories. All of these 4 factories could be TML'd, which would be significant, killing that much build power. This is a great drop. One T2PD gone down already, and he should manage to kill all 3 of these T2 Mexes. I said T2PD there, I believe. T2 Mexes, all 3 of those will die, and he will get cleaned up by these gunships though pretty quick, I think. His TML should be dead already, but it's not because he just wasn't paying enough attention. Now he kills it. A couple of noths are also good for sniping TML, and it's just not gonna do much. I think he just bombed that T1 factory to death. It's kind of interesting. Where's the commander? Okay, moving over to the left to try and stop this army. I think we're going to see T3 land pretty quick. Nexus is switching to it. So much mass in the bank. Definitely a good time to switch. Have all this build power. Just throw it all onto your T2 factory. Just get T3, get those Othams out. People think Othams are bad, and you know they're right basically compared to a lot of units, but they're still a T3 tank, and they're still gonna wreck T2 tanks, even if those Tech 2 tanks are Ilshis. This is a big drop from Nexus. We were waiting for these T2 transport drops. This is all gonna die for sure. Gunships, it seems like he's lost a few, but they're doing some pretty good raiding. I'd like to see some over here maybe. And off they go. All of this is dead. 6 Ilshis. Nexus over here. I think they may have been upgrading, but they're all dead now. Bombers being used to defend. Bombers are pretty good for defending. This PD should... yeah, it's not being targeted. He's already targeted the mechs. Now it goes down. Another drop. We got arties and a single Ilshi. This transport is extremely low though. And it's been seen. Let's see if it gets to drop away. I think it's gonna be close. Oh, nice. Just barely gets it away. So pretty nice. Dropping Ilshis and Arties is a great option. Arties are also, yeah, that's... see, Seraphim don't only just have the best transports that can drop the most, they also have the best units to drop, because the Arties are the best Arties and most expensive, and their T2 units are the best and most expensive, so it's just a great synergy there for the Seraphim. Don't quite have it when they're dropping Othams. It's not the same as dropping 4 Percys, but dropping 4 Othams is still pretty sick. But yeah, we won't see any more kills on these Mexes. The Othams are here. These Ilshis have been cleaned up, but they killed everything here. All 4 Mexes and the factory and all the engineers. A lot more reclaim for Nexus. Almost 10k is 8k more reclaim. Power reclaim is not so important on this map. There's not that much to get. But his army in this position, they've basically just been going back and forth, but I think he's had the better in terms of the reclaim, and he generally had a bigger advantage, managed to push Ettridge back towards here, but there's so many Ilshis wrecks here to grab. Just a huge amount of reclaim. and actually quite a lot here. We see a lot of Ilchi with them to be gotten. Here's another drop. Just drops the one Ilchi and then the rest will move on. There's Intis in position that could kill this transport if he reacts, and he really should react. This it's been on radar for the entire game almost, but he doesn't react. They react on their own, but not in time, unsurprisingly. This push, however, is extremely scary. You see Petridge is just running away. He has nothing versus it. He got 7. Holy shit, 7? 7 T3 tanks, and we got 25 T2. Like, there's like, what, 6 or 7 T2 tanks here and an ACU. He needs a T2 transport right now. That's what he needs. Doesn't need. And there's only one, and it's extremely damaged, and it's all the way over there. He will just die to this army, I believe. Oh, he's not running this way either. And I think Nexus knows. He smells blood. There's so many T3 tanks here. And Petridge doesn't have the gun. He doesn't have nano. He's not even overcharging. This is done. I think there's just too much damage from this army. He'll just get target fired very shortly, and it's gonna be it. Still alive somehow, now getting target fired, and poof. So, again, well, another really good game. But again, you can see, well, I think we saw the dangers of drop play. A lot of units were used to kill expansion mexes and stuff. Both players did it though, so, but I think Petridge did it quite a bit more, and Petridge ultimately didn't get enough reclaim as well. You can see Next has the reclaim advantage. And then it was just faster T3 ultimately won the game, as it so often does. Getting faster to attack is it's a big advantage, especially getting faster to T3 land in any matchup, pretty much. Any matchup, whether it's a mirror or whether it's versus a different faction, especially in mirror though, faster Othams is really a huge deal, and he had so many there in that army, 7. He just had a far bigger army in the end there, which is weird. It's really not often you'll see Petridge just basically have less than his opponent. But that's what happened. So great job by Nexus. I think also it's actually not the units that he's getting more reclaim from. I think he just got every single rock on his side of the map. Let me just see here. Okay, yeah, we got some rocks over here. Well, this is units. Yeah, I guess actually Petridge got basically everything on his side as well. So yeah. Overall just more efficient? Not quite sure. Better eco? Again, I'm not sure. But in the end it was just a way bigger army. And the ACU, even if the ACU doesn't get caught out here, there's still nothing that can actually stop him. Stop this push. He just doesn't have enough units. Well, okay, so that was it. That was the final. Nexus won with this match. Basically kind of played a best of 3 versus Petridge pretty much in the semi-final and the final, and 1-2-1. Petridge, the player who beat Blackheart in a best of, what was that? best of 15 or best of 7 or yeah, not too long ago. So a lot of people thought Petrich was probably the #1 player, barring like, well, even if you're thinking about Zoc and Blackheart, Zlo, a lot of people might pick Petrich, and he just got whooped. He pretty much just got whooped. So really impressive from Nexus, and we shall see how he does in the end of year tournament. Hopefully we know the maps beforehand so that there can be proper preparation for this tournament. I think this idea of not wanting people to build order whore is completely retarded. Just gotta say, it's really dumb. Yeah, I should probably just end this. Just talking too much shit, but yeah, hopefully we know the maps anyway, and I'm really looking forward to this end of year tournament. Some players did not get in that really you'd expect would have gotten in. Blackheart left it till the last tournament, the last qualifying tournament, to try and qualify, and he failed. We saw him lose to Nexus. Not sure who he lost to in the losers bracket, but he is out. He's not going to be at the end of your tournament, which is pretty, well, it's unfortunate, to be honest. You want all the best players there, and he's definitely should be there. Definitely good enough. Still better than basically almost everyone. We saw him outplay Nexus in that winners game bracket, but yeah, I'm not sure who else didn't get through, but Blackhair is the biggest one, I think. LoTS just about scraped by. I think he only played in the last qualifying tournament, or just maybe 1 or 2 of them. He managed to scrape in this tournament. I think he placed 4th, but some people had already qualified who got the top 3, like Nexus and Petrich. They had already qualified. And there's some under 1900 players got in. Yeah, it's pretty sad to see under 1900 players get in for finishing kind of far down, and then Blackheart doesn't even get in. Some things could be improved in this qualifying process, but hey, it's still going to be a great tournament at the end of the year. Hopefully we have a lot of games and not lots of best of 1s. I think best of 1s are not great for a tournament, but hopefully best of 3s, best of 5s in that tournament even. And lots of great games. I'll probably cast a lot of them when they happen. I'm also playing in that tournament. Somehow managed to qualify. Hopefully I don't get blown the fuck out, but it's probably what's gonna happen. Okay, yeah, time to end this pointless ramble. Well played, Nexus. Really impressive, the amount of players he beat, the quality of them, and yeah.